Assalamualaikum everyone. Now as we have finished all the chapters, now we are going to do an exercise or a group project uh, for which I'm telling you the marketing plan outline. First of all, what you need to understand that today by midnight you have to pick up a product or a service with a consensus in your group members. I need your project members name by midnight tonight, and along with that I need the product or service that you actually want to work for. Pick any product. Either you may want to open a specialty chocolate outlet, you may want to provide certain kind of service to the consumer, like pick and drop. You may want to come up with something very unique idea which nobody has, a product or a service which nobody has ever thought about yet, anything. And I think we are in a kind of a situation right now which is creating a lot of opportunity. Even these hassles, this COVID-19 has created a lot of opportunity to think. And we are now, like somebody gave a very good idea in your quiz, that we should have these knobs, door knobs, which have sensors, so you don't need to touch the door knob. And maybe you can come up with any product that you have in your mind. Maybe you come up with an idea of virtual reality, using virtual reality for creating environments within the home where people, they don't feel lonely. By using that technology, you can devise goggles or something which basically makes people think that they are enjoying their outdoor activities as they used to be previously. So come up with something unique idea, and it's going to basically trigger the rigor in you, and it would actually help you understand how to apply all the concepts that we have studied till yet. So I'm going to tell you a few things which are very important. See, you're going to write first three C's. Those C's are basically the company, the competitor, and the consumers. They're very important. In the company, you're going to tell about the mission statement of the firm, the vision statement of the firm. You're going to conduct out a SWOT analysis of the firm, what are its objectives, and who are its customers. Among the customers, you are going to tell us about the for that you can refer to the chapter which talks about the segmentation. uh, and among the segmentation, we know that there are certain bases of classifying or segmenting consumer into different segments. In that particularly, please go and look into your consumer profile. You're going to create your consumer profile. For example, if I'm talking about a certain product, for example, I'm talking about specialty chocolates, and I look who are the people, what are the demographics of my target population, who will buy my product. Maybe someone who is like um, a teenager, or someone who's in mid 30s, or anyone who is celebrating any festive. Maybe they want to give that specialty chocolate to their loved ones, or maybe on special occasions. So I will write down the psychographics, the demographics of my consumer, then the behavioral pattern. I'll tell that during some seasons they buy more, or in particular they buy more rather than every day. I'm also going to tell their behavioral patterns, the usage rate, what I'm expecting out of this exercise, that how much they're going to use it, and all those things. Then after that, please refer to that chapter of segmentation when you're writing your consumer profile. What are the demographics? That I think there is a full-fledged table made in that chapter which talks about the geographics. What is the location of your, what is the climate of that region, all those things which are concerning, especially related to your product. Make that chart. It's, I think, hardly, it's a very easy chart, it's been given there. Write down the geographics, their location, uh, their territory, their climate, and then you can go for the psychographics of to your customers. Maybe they have a particular kind of a lifestyle, in which the product or service fits in. So go and study that part as well, and write down the psychographics of your consumer. Maybe they are health conscious. If you are giving some athletic footwear, maybe why? Because they are people, those who have a lifestyle which is a healthy lifestyle, and they are very much involved in exercise and in keeping themselves fit and shaping their body. So according to that, you have to write down the your consumer profile. And then the for competitors, I can recommend you, maybe you have such a unique idea that nobody has yet worked on it, so you don't have any direct competitor in that case. But if somebody has already worked on it, somebody is already running that kind of business, and you can basically tell that how much competition you are facing in the market right now, how many firms or companies they are offering the product. And you should also write down the stage in which product is right now, in life cycle stage product is right now in the industry. Maybe it's a very new idea and you're the first one to launch the idea or commercialize the product, or maybe somebody already has worked on it and it's in the growth stage. We definitely are not going to go for launching a product which is already in a maturity stage in the market. So write down these three C's: the company, the consumers, and the competitors. Write down notes about all these, maybe a paragraph or two in each of this category. Then I think for company, you can write more, because you'll be writing the mission statement, vision statement, the objectives of the business. Then you're going to conduct the SWOT analysis, that what are the strengths and weaknesses of the firm. These are actually internal, whereas opportunities and threats are external. They are present in the external environment. Once you're done with these three C's, you are going to basically do the environmental analysis. You're going to write down the elements which are in micro environment. You're going to write down who are your suppliers. From here you're going to get your raw materials and other stuff, parts, or anything that you require. Then after that, you are going to tell us about the company, that which I've already told you. After company, it's about distributors. Which channels your firm is going to use, who's going to distribute your product, that is very important. And after that, it's about the final consumer. So who's your final consumer? That is very important. So you have to write down under the head of this environmental factors. So in these environmental factors, you have to not just to cover these micro environmental factors, but you'll be covering the macro environmental factors as well. You are going to write down the if any either political, legal, or economic situation, it can affect your consumer purchase, or it can affect your business. Any technological advancement, any economic condition, environmental factors, any legal legislation or any regulation, it may affect your business. Please write down either there is an opportunity because of that, either because of the social cultural forces or the demographic forces. Changing consumer lifestyles, changing consumer buying patterns may serve as an opportunity for you. For example, during this COVID-19, people, they have reduced going out, so maybe it's creating an opportunity for you to come up with a business which can facilitate to drop the products or groceries to the consumer doorstep. So you have to understand how these things are creating an opportunity for you. Maybe because of the SOPs that government wants to implement in during this COVID-19, maybe you think of kind of outside passage of the shop, that it must be installed it with sensors. So if somebody who's standing close to someone, it starts alarming people. So there are so many products that you can basically visualize, idealize, and come up with. So write down all the anything. Even a social factor can serve as an opportunity, even the cultural factor can serve as an opportunity, or it may hinder your business. So write down all those factors. I'm not asking about all the factors, just those factors which may create an opportunity for your business, and those factors which may serve to inhibit, hinder, or threat your business. Maybe at times government won't allow you to come up with an idea that is in your mind, or maybe they have restricted something. So please look into that. from the perspective of product or service that you want to uh, provide to the market. Now then we're going to look into the marketing strategy, and then finally the marketing mix. This implementation, evaluation, and control, you're not going to do this part. So I've just because I've posted this picture here, I haven't mentioned this later on. So let's look into it. So you have to define your mission statement. We have already done this exercise in chapter 2, and we studied. If you look into this chapter of, I think, strategic business unit, you'll find that even in the slides you'll find the mission statement, how it is being made. So please go across that, write down your vision statement, and write down the mission statement of your business, and answer the questions which are given here. What is the mission statement of the firm? What business is it in? How well its mission understood throughout the organization. So it's a very important concept that everybody within the organization buys the concept that organization wants to sell its to customers. So everybody should know the vision and the mission statement. It should be a shared vision and shared mission statement. Everybody is collectively working for that. And 5 years from now, where do you see your business? What your business does it wish to be in future, in coming future? That is very important because it will tell you what are your goals and objectives that you want to achieve. Does the firm define its business in terms of benefits its customer want? So you have choice, either in terms of benefits that your customer wants, or rather than in terms of goods and services that you want to deliver to them. So kindly look into that and decide that. In situation analysis, we'll already discuss this, like you have to identify the strengths and weaknesses which are internal in the organization. Maybe you have a lot of resources, maybe you have certain competitive advantage, a kind of technology that you have nobody else has, or maybe your staff is much trained. Maybe you have more financial resources as compared to the competitors. Maybe you have more exposure of the industry. Maybe you have more experience of the industry that nobody has. Maybe your idea or product is so unique that nobody can compete to that, and you're just a starter. So all these things are strengths, and these strengths could be your company's weakness. Maybe you don't have highly skilled labor available in Pakistan for making that product. So please look at both the sides. So are these advantages sustainable against the competition? Answer this question. And then it's what is the history of the firm, including the sales, profits, organization, and profits and organizational philosophies. That you can even write in that part of the. Don't repeat anything. Either you go with the format that I previously told you, or follow this one. So what is the history of the firm, including sales, profit, organizational philosophies? What is nature of the firm and its current situation? So what is the nature of your firm? It's a service firm or it's a product firm? And what is the current situation of your business? What are the firm's resources? How much capital do you have? What human skills you have, humans in terms of your resource, human resource. You can write down your organizational structure in that. There's one chief executive officer. Under him there are two managers. One manager is looking after the stitching department, one manager is looking after the designing, marketing, and any other act or HR department. So make up that structure. In the stitching department we have three tailors, one assistant, and in marketing department there are two people, those who are dealing with the distribution and as well as the advertising, marketing activities. They are looking after the brand management. So you can basically come up with an organizational structure. It will differ from firm to firm. Either if it's a small size firm, the structure is going to be small. If it's a big firm, it's going to be a big structure. I will recommend you to come up with an entrepreneurial venture which you can actually practically go out and you can basically run that business plan into real business. Now, what policies inhibit the achievement of organization's objectives with respect to the organization, the firm's objective with respect to the organization? They may be like any weakness. Maybe you don't have sufficient funds and you have to look for an investment. So that is your weakness. Or maybe you don't have operations. Maybe you don't have high tech machinery. Maybe you have problem of not finding the suitable resource persons. Maybe your staff needs more training. For example, if you're into boutique bakery, you need people who have these skills of designing unique and boutique style cakes, pastries, cupcakes. Uh, all of these things, look into it. Whatever business you're coming up with, any idea, is there any hindrance? Is there any shortcoming in terms of resources, labor skills, in terms of experience, in terms of maybe you're very new in the business, that is your weakness, and you still need a lot of time to understand the industry or the market. Then as I've already talked about the environmental factors, they are covered here as well. Like social, what major social and lifestyle trends will have an impact on the firm? What actions have been firm taken in response to these trends? So, because if I know that in our society or in our cultural values, I cannot come up with dresses which may be exposing human body somehow. So definitely my firm is not going to design that kind of dresses. So you have to come up with this, and then maybe I'm not targeting the local people here. Maybe I'm just targeting the foreigners who are living in Pakistan. So you have to come up with this, that what factors, either social factors, cultural factors, demographic factors, they are affecting your business, or they are creating an opportunity for your business. Social factor could be an opportunity for your firm to start a new business, because there may be a changing lifestyle, and for that changing lifestyle, consumer wants a particular kind of product. So now, even in this COVID situation, people's lifestyle have dramatically changed, so they are needing so many products that may be an opportunity for the firm. And due to this COVID-19, it has served as a threat to many industries, to many different products. People, they are not using them right now. So you can basically, these social factors, cultural factors, these demographic factors, they create basically opportunity, and they may serve as a threat. So identify all those factors which may serve as an opportunity for the organization, or for the they may serve as a threat for the organization. So we have studied this demographic. What impact will forecasted trends in size, age, profile, and distribution of the population have on the firm? How will the changing nature of family, increasing in proportion of women in workforce, and changes in the ethnic composition of population affect the firm? I think the people, those who make these convenience food, which come up with the frozen food, that is basically because of the reason that most of the females, they have started working now, and they don't have much time, and now to save time and energy, they basically buy these kinds of packed foods. Now, what action has the firm taken in response to these developments and trends? Has the firm reevaluated its traditional products and expanded the range of specialized offerings to respond to these changes? And then the economic, any change in the, now see with this COVID, what has happened, like the people, many of the people, they have been laid off from their work. There's a downsizing in organization. Many organizations, they are cutting down the pace of the people. So it may be a threat, or it may be serve as an opportunity for the firm to come up with products which are low price products. So, what actions firm has taken in response to these trends? Any political, legal, and financial? What laws are now being imposed in international, federal, state, and local levels that could affect marketing strategy and tactics? And what recent changes in regulations and court decisions affect the firm? Uh, I'm not asking you to go into a very detail of this political, legal, and financial. If you think there is something which has been changed, maybe social distancing may affect your business right now, because government has come up with an SOPs. So look into if there is anything which can affect your business right now. Any political scenario, a country may be facing a political instability, and that may be affecting your business. Now, answer all these questions if possible. Now, competition. Which organizations are competing with the firm directly by offering a similar product? So, please look into it. Is there any direct competition? Is there someone indirectly competing with the firm? So, for example, if you are selling lemonade, so your direct competition will be with people those who are selling these kind of sodas, lemon sodas. and fresh drinks. But you also have indirect competition with soft drinks, because they are also people, if they are not consuming lemonade, they might be using, if they're not using lemon or sherbet, they may be using these soft drinks. So there's maybe an indirect competition. And after that, technological factors. What major technological changes are occurring that affect the fee, affect the firm? Because somebody has talked about, I've already mentioned those sensor based knobs. So it requires a certain kind of technology, and maybe the technology needs an artificial intelligence. So please write down if you think that there is a certain kind of technology. Even the change in technological factor of the product may serve as a unique selling proposition, and that may be the reason that it creates an entirely new market for itself. Ecological, we need to, what is the outlook of the cost and availability of natural resources? If you want to come up with a shop which is selling designer furniture, so you need to understand that wood is basically wood is not available as it used to be available. It is a very expensive item, and so please look into the availability of natural resources and energy needed by the firm. Are the firm product, services, and operations environmental friendly or not? Write down the objectives. We have already stated that. And then what are the stated objectives of the organization? Are they formally written down? Do they lead logically to clearly stated marketing objectives, or objective based on sales, profits, and customers? So please do it as much as it is possible for you. And I think your book is a good guideline for you. Anything that is being written here is basically from the book. It's basically the extract of all that what we have already studied. So are the members of each market homogeneous or heterogeneous with respect to demographics, geographics, sociographics, socio-demographics, and behavioral characteristics? So I've already tell you, make your customer profile. That will help you. For example, as I already talked about the specialty chocolate, and I said maybe youth wants it, so teenagers. You can write down the profile like people from 19 to 35. They are very much, one segment is those who are youth, and they are always enjoying chocolates. And then specialty chocolate, I said the people, those who are buying, is based on occasions. Among the festival occasions, they buy these products, like on Eid, on Christmas, on or people those who are celebrating different events, like they are having a birthday party of someone who's very special, or it's something, they're celebrating something, then they're giving these chocolates to one another. So basically you have to write down, in this scenario I'm going to write down the profile of three, and maybe they're people who have a very good taste of, maybe they're old age people, and they have always had a good taste for specialty products, specialty chocolates. So I'm going to write down the profiles of all these customers, their geographics. Their geographics, probably they'll be sharing the same, but their psychographics are definitely different, and their behavioral characteristics may be differ. So go to that chapter of segmentation and refer to that part and look what profile. There is a, I've already told that there is a full format given. I think there is this figure given in which they have write down the geographic part, then the psychographic, and all those. Look into that and take help from that. What are the evolving needs and satisfaction being sought by the target markets? What are the actual needs, the demands, and satisfaction that they are looking for, they're seeking? What benefits does the organization offer to each segment? How do these benefits compare with benefits offered by the competitor? So if you're providing a service which has been basically keeping in with the target market in different segments, you can even alter the service and the product. For people, those who want specialty products, you may give specialty product. Those who just want regular chocolates, you can make regular chocolates. People, those who want to enjoy a high quality service, for that you can change the service, and the price of the service will be different as those who want just a regular service in a fair price. Is the firm positioning itself with a unique product? Is the product needed? So here what you need to understand, you have to write down the positioning of your product. What is the unique selling proposition that your product has, and how you're positioning your product? Either you are placing it on the functional benefit like it's a whitening toothpaste, or either you're placing it on in terms of the psychological benefit it is providing to the consumer. Now let's talk like please then after that write down about your product. What is your product or service that you're offering, and do they complement each other, or is there unnecessary duplication in the products? Please, this will actually help you to write down in product. Please write down the features and benefits of each product offering. What are the firm and each major product in its life cycle? That is very important, because you can only offer products which are either they're not in the market and it's the ideas being conceived for the very first time, or either they're in the introduction stage or in the growth stage. We never come up with a product which is in maturity or the decline stage unless and until we are revitalizing it, or we are reviving the product with a new kind of format or of technology, or a new something very new. Okay, what warranties are offered with the product? So it's about like the augmented part of the product, any warranty, guarantee, any extra support services, repair services. Are you offering those services or not? And does the product offer good customer value? That is very important. What is that you're giving in terms of customer value? And value, we know it's basically a ratio between benefits over cost. So what benefits in terms of functional and psychological benefits that you are giving to the consumer for using that product, with in ratio with the cost that they are paying, the effort, the money, time that they are spending to buy that product. How is customer service handled? Is customer quality assessed? Do you have any mechanism of evaluating the customer assessment for the service quality? See, you may have those feedback cards or comment cards in which they can give feedback, or you may keep a register in which they can write down their complaints. And how you handle them, please write down that mechanism as well. So final after that, you have to write down the placement or the distribution channels, which channels your firm is using. Either it is directly selling to the consumer, or are there certain intermediaries like wholesalers or retailers. So please write down all those. It's going to make a paragraph. And that what are the location and atmospherics of retail establishment? Do these retailers satisfy customers? So for example, you work for a specialty chocolate outlet. I want something which is very creative interior, something which is very creative, warm, and which is expressing the idea of being very special. So the store must have that look. And when our products made available to users, seasons of the year, day of the year, time of the year, are these time most appropriate? And then finally the promotions. And in this, you have recently covered the integrated marketing communication. Please kindly write down, are you going for advertising, sales promotion, personal selling? And if you're going for advertising, are you going to make TV commercials or radio commercials? So please write down a paragraph or two on that. And then how you're going to price it. Please, what level of pricing and specific pricing should be. So you can see the industry benchmark, and if your product is something very unique or out of the box thinking, then you can charge premium prices. And then you can tell that what is going to be, how you're going to set up the price. So we have studied different methods in price chapter. You can write down which method you are using. Either it's going to be going rate, demand oriented, or cost based. Maybe they are with different titles in your book. So please look into that and write down that. What discounts are offered and with what rationale. Finally, has the firm considered the psychological dimension of the price? See if you're selling something unique, something special, or something different. Your product has certain attributes or feature which other products have not infused yet in their products, then definitely you can charge psychological price. At times, see, but the brands are giving the same product, but some certain brands they have a goodwill, and they are basically status symbol or symbol of being very trendy, very smart and update. updated. For that, they're basically charging price. Have prices increased, kept pace with cost increase, inflation, or compared? So whatever questions you think fit into your scenario, please answer those all those questions which are written here.